Happy Wednesday, friends. I'm Nancy Thompson with Create with Nancy, and welcome to some Creative Ink. It's time for me to inspire you to get creative so you can send some beautiful creations to others. So come on in, say hello. I was looking for some samples and I cannot find them. I don't know what I did with them. But anyway, so come on in, say hello. Let me know where you're from if you're new to my channel so I can welcome you. And make sure to give a thumbs up if you enjoy what you see today, or some hearts, and even better, share this video with your friends, because that's even shows me that you really are enjoying today's content. So today we are doing a pinwheel ribbon card. We did a pinwheel a couple weeks ago, and I was looking for those samples. I just came across them the other day. My office is not in the best shape at the moment because I'm getting ready for our crafter tea retreat for the next 2 days, and I still have some stuff to do, okay? So yes, so I'm working on that, and so no time to clean right now, right? But maybe later today. So anyways, I need to get the room set up for our tea for tomorrow. So welcome, Shirley. Come on in and let's get creative. So let's get started. I have the most simplest and easy project today to share with you all. You're going to love it. And it's a great way to use up some of this beautiful designer paper. That's all you need. Designer paper, some cardstock, a trimmer, and some words. Okay, so I want to remind you that you can get this stamp positioner that Stampin' Up! Is just released in your join kit. When you join Stampin' Up! Right now, currently through March, I think it's the 2nd. When you join between now and March 2nd, you're going to get this stamp positioner added to into your starter kit. You can choose $125 worth of product for $99 plus sales tax, and choose whatever you'd like. But anyways, it's got a magnetic base. There are grid sheets that you can purchase separately, okay, to go with it. They've redesigned. We have some new design magnets that are very strong and very easy to pick up. They've got these tabs on them that make them super easy to pick up. And we have our grid, our positioner here. And there's these little springs on here that, and on the plate as well, that so when you set your plate down, your stamp is not touching your project yet, okay? Only until you push down on those springs does the stamp make contact with your paper. So which is really cool. So you have time to make sure it's in the right position before you press and get ink all over. And then they have a smaller one that's great if you're doing words or small images or whatever. And if you want to do like the hinge technique where you kind of move it on down the pegs for greetings, all kinds, or images, whatever you would like to do. So there is that. If you'd like more details about joining the Ink with Heart Stampers family, I would love to talk with you. Okay, well, let me figure out, where am I going to put this? Right there. Okay, so today we're using this mixed up patterns, right? Let me read this. Yes, mixed up patterns designer paper. We used it before when we were making some of the quilt cards, I believe. But there's some great geometric designs in this, so they're very universal to use in addition to other designer paper collections as well. So don't forget about these, okay? There's Daffodil Delight, Secret Sea, what are the other? Bubble Bath is in here. There's some Old Olive and Strawberry Slush. So I think this is Old Olive, this is Balmy Blue, and these are two Bubble Baths. And then let's look at the flip side. So we've got some Old Olive here, our Daffodil, more Secret Sea, the Strawberry Slush, and Balmy Blue. So we're going to use this paper today. Okay, and let's see, we're going to need a paper trimmer. Okay, and here's our parts and pieces. We got a strip for our envelope flap here, okay? And we are going to start with a piece of designer paper that's 3 1/4 by 5 inches, okay? And we're going to create some score lines. We want to do a score line down here on the left and then a score line along the bottom, okay? So if you have directional paper, you want to keep that in mind. So you want to create this L shape of score lines, okay? So I'm going to score it first on the short side, or on the long side, I guess. And remember, don't press too super hard, but hard enough so you can see that score line. You could do a pencil mark, but I like just using the scoring tool here. And then we're gonna flip it this way. So if this was directional, I want this to be the bottom of my project here. We're going to score again at 1.5 inches. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. It's not very pronounced, but I can see it. So I don't know if you can see it on here. I don't think so. So we have a score line here and then one across here. So we have a 1.5 inch kind of L here. Okay, while we have our trimmer, we have two, this is what's going to create our pinwheel, okay? So we have two 1x1 inch squares, and this is like a contrast for my paper, okay? So we're going to take our 1 inch squares, we're going to put them in our trimmer, and we're going to put point to point in the ditch here, the cutting track, okay? And what's really helpful is if you just take a sticky note to help secure it. If you feel like you need a second one, put one on the other side, but I found one is enough. And then you want to put your blade in the middle of that square, okay? Because if you come down on the point or up from the point, it's going to make your square move, guaranteed. So I'm kind of pushing on my guide to make sure everything just stays in place. I'm going to cut up and down. Either way's fine. And then I got two perfect triangles here. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, so we're going to put the points in the ditch. Just take your time. Make sure you've lined them up, you know, properly. Put it in the center again and go up and down. Okay, all right, and that's all there is. We've got our 4 triangles. And then the other pieces that we're going to need, this is my contrast paper. We need 1 inch. Am I missing one? Nope. Okay, here we go. Probably should have done one that's directional, but I have some samples that are directional that I'll share with you. So if your paper's directional, you're going to want to kind of think on how you cut it, okay? Because let's just put our paper in place here. So wherever your score line is, you know, just make sure you can see this intersection point here. This is where we're gonna just kind of line up our designer paper. So if this was directional, you want to be able to cut it on the horizontal way, okay? Your 1 inch strip. And then we're gonna have, so this is 3.5 inches by 1 inch. And then this one is 1 inch by 2 1/4. Okay, this is going to line up on that square right there. Okay, that's why the score line kind of helps you with your placement. All right, and then these both. Then we have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 1.5. Okay, one is going to go up and down, and then one is going to go sideways here. So we've kind of created like this pinwheel type ribbon like. This is the ribbon of our pinwheel, okay? And so we're going to go and glue them down. So if you have directional, so you would have 2 that are horizontal or vertical and 2 that are horizontal. So you want to keep that in mind as you're cutting your designer paper, okay? All right, so let's start this right now. Let's see. Let's start gluing. Hello, Betty. Enjoying the sun and warmer weather today. We have snow flurries today. But not much. I mean, they're kind of big flakes. It is kind of adding up. I don't know how much we're supposed to get. But that's okay, as long as it ends tonight. So it's good weather for my crafter's tea tomorrow. So okay, so we're lining this up with the intersection of this score line here and here, okay? So we've got that, and then I like to do the long one. That feels like it's the anchor piece, okay? it's the biggest one for you to be more accurate, whereas these start with these little ones, you might be a little wonky. So I'm going to just turn this so I can see. I'm just continuing to follow that score line, okay? And then this one, remember your opposites are going to be going the same way, okay? If you have directional. So this one's horizontal. There we go. And then this one's going to be vertical. Let's see. There we go. We are golden. I got a little bit here, so I'm going to trim off the end there a little bit. Okay, wasn't that like super, super simple? Now let's finish with our pinwheel, okay? We're going to take our triangles here, and the long side is going to kind of go to the inside. So we want to have the two the same length, because remember, we start with a 1-inch square, so we want those 1-inch sides to be like along here and along the ends. So hi Carol, welcome. And Kathy, welcome, welcome. I'll see you tomorrow, Kathy. Kathy's coming to the Crafters Tea tomorrow. Weather's going to be good, Kathy. Okay, so we're going to take our pinwheel, half of our pinwheel here. We're going to adhere it that way. We're just going to work our way around our paper here. So I think the warm and sunny weather is starting tomorrow or this weekend, Betty. So I'm more concerned about getting this edge lined up with my designer paper, not with the center of my point, because we're going to cover up the center of the point with a jewel, okay? So the key is to make sure you've got it lined up with this seam here and along the edge of that designer paper. There's where you want to make your 90-degree angle. Okay, I almost wish I'd done like white instead of this balmy blue, I think, because I didn't make this card ahead of time. Okay, let's do this. And I was rushing. Okay, so I didn't start planning this until about 2 o'clock today. So that's how quick and simple these go together. So hi, Charlotte, welcome, and Phyllis and Wendy, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're gonna layer this onto some balmy blue. That's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're gonna add it to a card base of thick, basic white with some dimensionals. Wish we had like a small little like flower image. There's some in some dies, but I didn't take time to look for one. Little floral in the center would have been nice. Okay, so let's just add this to here. And no ribbon on this because we got designer paper ribbon, right? And let's add this to the inside. Got a little 1/2-inch strip of designer paper to kind of jazz up the inside here. Just keeping it really simple, not a ton of layers. With extra cardstock, we can write directly onto this card base. And this makes like any type of occasion, really. You could make a bunch of these and just have them done, and then add a greeting to them when you need a card, you know, and just pop a greeting onto it with a label or some type of punch label. It could be anything, right? Okay, so here's the inside, super, super simple. Now let's finish the front here. We need to add a greeting, and we're gonna make this a thank you card, okay? I'm still behind on my thank you notes. So let's see, what else is going on? There's a new Paper Pumpkin subscription that just started today. It features hummingbirds. So if you are a hummingbird person, you might enjoy this the March Paper Pumpkin kit. We're going to stamp it on. This is just a 1/2-inch scrap. I save these scraps all the time. In fact, I got to start saving more. after a while you get so many you don't need them. So it's time to start saving more. And we're going to flag the ends of this. Okay. So what stamp set did I get this out of? I'll share with you in just a minute. It's like one of my new favorites. And we made this card in Stamp Club yesterday, and they all enjoyed it. And I'll share what we use, what paper we used for that. Okay, I think that looks good. So let's add some dimensionals to this. So this green is out of the Lovely Arrangements stamp set right here. And is this the one they're using? I think this is the one they're using for the upcoming card class in a few weeks, okay? Or maybe it's the Lovely, I'm not sure now. I'm second guessing myself. I need to, maybe it's the other one. Which one goes with this designer paper? Let's see. Yeah, it is this one, I believe, right? This is the one that goes with that designer paper. So they're the Lovely Blossoms designer paper, and it's got to be the Lovely Arrangements bundle, because that's what's in that paper. Yeah, so Stampin' Up! Is doing a card class with this bundle. In a few weeks, they're creating 3 cards. I think it's 3 cards. And the class is $25. And it's a virtual class, so anybody can join in anytime and watch that. There's a special Facebook group that they hold the class in, and share with you different techniques and all kinds of tips and everything, and use stamping. So I haven't participated yet. I just haven't had time. So, but I might do this one. Okay, so let's add a jewel to the front of this. And what did I do with my greeting? I might have picked it up on something. Hang on. It's on the back of my designer paper thing. All right, let's add it to the card before we lose it again. We're going to just simply put this right up here in the corner. And all of a sudden I got a tickle. And then let's use our Take Your Pick tool here and add a rhinestone basic jewel to the center. And that's how simple and easy this card is. What do you guys think? Hi, Cindy from Maryland. Welcome. Hi, Margaret. Glad to see you here again. So let's add some designer paper. And for those joining in late, this is the Mixed Up Patterns designer paper. It's just a unique, just a different generic package of paper. That's great. That goes with other packages as well to accessorize with. So let's just trim our envelope here. And then we'll have a nice ensemble ready to get mailed out. Okay, what do you think? Too simple, too easy, not jazzy enough? I might have liked to have white there. I'm not sure. Or some glimmer. I don't know if we have any balmy blue glimmer, but some glimmer paper would be really cool, wouldn't it? Okay, Wendy, thank you so much. It's super easy. So let me share with you some other samples from this package of designer paper. Here is this one with Daffodil Delight. So this one definitely contrasts. The pinwheel definitely contrasts a lot better. And I love the greetings in that Lovely Arrangements stamp set. Here's this one with Strawberry Slush. Okay. And then this one, I think this makes a great masculine one. What do you think? Paper or card. And then I just finished the inside, super easy. So using up your little strips is like a great way to use this. And you could play around with the different backgrounds. You could maybe even emboss the background. It could just be, let me just mute my phone there. Whatever you'd like to do. Okay, so these are the ones we did in my stamp club yesterday. So we used that Easter Joy paper right here. I don't know, I didn't get the bundle, so so I was just trying to utilize the paper all on its own, but I thought these kind of made some quick and simple Easter cards. It could be spring. I did use a retired greeting because I didn't have the bundle. And then we have this one right here. So I used the kind of the basket weave pattern with the eggs. And this is peach pie cardstock. And then here's this one with the plaid background and the floral prints right there. And I did another one. So, okay, everybody, what do you think? Thanks, Cindy. Thank you so much for joining in today. I so appreciate you. If you need anything, you can subscribe to my newsletter channel. And that's where you will find PDFs. I'm way behind on PDFs. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be catching up with some PDFs in my newsletter. Okay. And you can order supplies. Definitely this paper is available now. You know, I'm assuming it's in stock, but you can go to createwithnancy.com and hit the shop now button, and it'll take you to the online store, and you can just put in the search bar Mixed Up Patterns DSP and add it to your cart. So how wide are the strips, Cindy? They are 1-inch strips. And if you go back, I told all the measurements at the beginning of the video, what they were. Okay. And Friday, so come back on Friday on YouTube at 3 p.m. And we are going to do another pinwheel card. This one's going to be a pinwheel tower card, okay? Super easy, super simple, and kind of it's a great 3D type of card. So it's a great way to use that. And we are going to be using a sneak peek from the online exclusives, the March online exclusives coming up, okay? All right, everybody, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, message me, and I would love to be of service to you. Thanks so much. Have a great day.